All right, the last thing I want to talk about in terms of archaeological finds are or human remains. Saved it to the last. It is true as archaeologists excavate, many times they find skeletons. And either it can be part of a burial, what they call inhumation, where they bury the whole body, or it could be a destruction level, where they weren't buried, they were just killed in a earthquake or an invasion by an army. And as the buildings collapsed, it trapped them under it, and that's where they were preserved. In this case, this isn't a burial. You can see how the skull is fractured and broken. This is part of a destruction level. And occasionally you'll find these skulls. This is a Samnite skull from Italy. See how long the head is? Samnites had really long, long, long heads. I was eating at Applebee's a few years ago, and the manager came up to see if everything was fine. He had this really long, long face. And I wanted to tell him that he had a Samnite skull, but I've learned not to do that because I don't think they would understand. Well, it wasn't a bad-looking guy. It was a nice-looking guy. It's just his face was, I'd never seen a face so long. But Samnite. So whenever you find bodies that are in isolation without any grave goods and their bodies are in like elongated positions, chances are you're dealing with a destruction level rather than a burial. However, whenever you find a skeleton with lots of jewelry and grave goods around it, chances are you're dealing with a burial. This is a queen in one of the Mesopotamian cities. You can see the crown had a beautiful vestment made out of these gold plates. Even has a mirror there so she can see how she looks, but doesn't look that good. But it is kind of ironic, isn't it, to have a skeleton holding a mirror? It's a good thing it's corroded. Another way you can recognize burials, even without grave goods, is when the body's in a fetal position like this. Chances are you're dealing with a burial. Why would they put the body in a fetal position in an inhumation type burial? Yeah, that's the practical side. And you're probably right. I mean, if you roll them up, you'll have to dig a smaller hole, which is a lot less work to dig a smaller hole than a long hole. If you have them all stretched out, put their hands over there. No, that would be like a 7-foot hole. This you can get down to maybe a 3-foot or 4-foot pit. So I think you're right. Probably curling them up is good in terms of saving space. It's another possibility for the fetal position.
That's the way you were born.
Mm-hmm. And some of the Neanderthal burials, some of the earliest burials that we've discovered have them in the fetal position. And in that case, it seems pretty clear that they're suggesting that it's a return somehow, a rebirth, that kind of thing, because they buried flowers and put seeds in with them. So there seems to be other type of symbolic elements that would suggest that the human mind is grasping the idea that life survives death, that life goes on at some other plane. So the fetal position would possibly indicate that also.